It is one of the greatest truths about human behavior. What someone truly desires is rarely expressed through words alone. More often, it hides in a silent code, a language of glances, gestures, tone. When it comes to human connection, this unspoken language becomes even more powerful than any spoken declaration. Today, we will embark on an exhaustive journey into the human psyche to decode the subtle cues that reveal when a woman is quietly craving a deeper connection with you. These signals are not random. They are rooted in ancient biological imperatives, complex emotional structures, and the raw electricity of genuine attraction. Once you learn to recognize these patterns, you will never look at a conversation, a meeting, or a simple passing glance the same way again. We are going to break down 7 powerful pillars of attraction, exploring not just what they look like, but why they happen from a psychological and neurological perspective. The first pillar is the geometry of the gaze. We have all heard the ancient phrase that the eyes are the windows to the soul. But in the realm of modern psychology, they are more like the control center of human desire. In attraction, the eyes are the very first door that opens. To understand this sign, we must look at the difference between a social gaze and an intimate gaze. A polite social glance is fleeting and functional. It acknowledges your presence and moves on. However, when a woman secretly craves you, her eyes behave in a way that defies logic. They linger, they return to yours again and again, even when there is no logical reason to look back. Scientists call this the look of longing. It is often accompanied by a phenomenon known as pupil dilation. When the brain identifies something it finds intensely pleasurable or desirable, the nervous system triggers the pupils to expand to take in more of the image. It is a biological hunger. If you notice her pupils widening as you speak, even in a well-lit room, you are seeing her nervous system react to her craving for you. Another key element of this gaze is the triangulation pattern. This is when her eyes move from your left eye down to your lips and then back up to your right eye. This small triangular movement is a subconscious signal that she is thinking about intimacy. She is focusing on the most expressive parts of your face because she is trying to read your internal state, looking for a sign that the feeling is mutual. Beyond the movement, there is the frequency of the glance. In a crowded room, a woman who is attracted to you will use you as her emotional anchor. When someone tells a joke and the whole room laughs, she will instinctively look at you first to see your reaction. She is checking to see if you share her sense of humor, if you are tuned into the same frequency. This is not just a glance. It is a search for alignment. She is craving a shared reality with you. If you find her eyes meeting yours across a room multiple times, it is not a coincidence. It is an invisible thread of attraction that she is weaving between the two of you, one look at a time. The second pillar is the architecture of touch. Touch is our oldest and most primal form of communication. Long before humans developed complex language, we used touch to signal safety, hierarchy, and desire. It creates an immediate bridge between two nervous systems, releasing a flood of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. When a woman is secretly drawn to you, she will begin to find micro reasons to bridge the physical gap. These are not the grand gestures of a hug or a kiss, but rather the subtle, almost invisible touches that occupy the grey area of friendship and something more. Notice the accidental contact. This is the brush of a shoulder as you walk together, or her hand grazing yours while you are both reaching for something. While these may seem like accidents, the subconscious mind is a master of navigation. If these accidents happen frequently, they are deliberate tests. She is testing your haptic threshold. She wants to see how you respond to her proximity. Does your body stiffen, or do you relax? Do you move away, or do you linger in the contact? Another powerful form of this is the grooming gesture. This is when she fixes a stray hair on your shoulder, adjusts your collar, or brushes a speck of dust off your jacket. This is deeply rooted in primate behavior. In the animal kingdom, grooming is a sign of high trust and pair bonding. When she does this, she is entering your most intimate personal space, the space usually reserved for family or lovers. She is signaling that she feels a sense of ownership or deep comfort with you. She is subconsciously practicing what it feels like to take care of you, to be close to you, and to touch you without the pressure of a formal move. We must also consider the lingering touch. If she touches your arm while laughing at one of your jokes, pay attention to how long her hand stays there. A platonic friend will touch and release in less than a second. A woman who craves you will let that touch last just a heartbeat longer than necessary. That extra second is her body's way of saying, I don't want to let go. It is a silent plea for more closeness. This is a powerful female attraction psychology at work. She is using touch to build a physical familiarity that makes the transition to a romantic connection feel natural and inevitable rather than forced. The third pillar is the opening of the physical self. The body never lies because it is governed by the limbic system, the part of the brain that manages our survival instincts and emotions. When we feel threatened or indifferent, our bodies close. We cross our arms, we hunch our shoulders, we turn our torsos away. But when a woman is in the presence of someone she deeply desires, her body undergoes a radical transformation. It becomes an open system. Look for the lean. When you are speaking, does she incline her upper body toward yours? This is a sign of propinquity, the psychological drive to be near what we value. Even in a noisy environment, if she is leaning in so close that she is almost in a red zone, she is prioritizing your presence over everything else in the room. This lean is often accompanied by the exposure of the neck. This is a classic biological signal of trust. By tilting her head or tucking her hair back to reveal her neck, she is exposing one of the most vulnerable parts of her body. In evolutionary terms, she is saying, I trust you enough to let my guard down. We also have to talk about the direction of the heart. There is a psychological concept called ventral squaring. This is when a person aligns their torso directly with yours. If her feet, her hips, and her shoulders are all pointed toward you, even if she's looking at someone else, her body has chosen you as the most important person in the room. This is especially telling in group settings. If the group is standing in a circle and her body is consistently angled toward you, she is subconsciously creating a private corridor between the two of you. She is shutting out the rest of the world to focus on the connection she craves with you. The fourth pillar is the shift in vocal resonance. Most people are completely unaware of how much their voice changes when they are around someone they find attractive. This is a phenomenon known as vocal mirroring and vocal softening. When a woman feels a pull toward you, her voice will often take on a different texture. It might become slightly lower in pitch, which is a sign of relaxation and intimacy. A higher, more breathed voice is also a common indicator of physiological arousal. But it is not just the pitch, it is the teasing quality. Playfulness is the precursor to passion. If she is constantly teasing you, giving you a hard time about small things, or creating inside jokes that only make sense to the two of you, she is building a private language. This private language is a form of emotional intimacy. She is carving out a space in the world that belongs only to you and her. She is saying, no one else understands us like we do. This is a powerful way to build a us against the world mentality, which is a major driver of secret attraction. Listen also for the emotional echo. When you speak about something you are passionate about, does her voice rise in excitement to match yours? When you are feeling down, does her tone soften to meet your vulnerability? This is called pacing and leading. Her voice is dancing with yours, following your lead, and trying to harmonize with your emotional state. She is craving a state of vocal synchrony where the two of you are literally on the same wavelength. The fifth pillar is the depth of her validation. Surface level compliments are easy. Anyone can say, you look nice today, or good job on that project, but when a woman secretly craves you, her compliments will move from the superficial to the essential. She will begin to notice the things that you think are hidden. She will compliment your resilience after a hard day. She will admire the way you treat a stranger or the way you think through a complex problem. These are soul-level compliments. They require her to be paying intense, focused attention to who you are as a man. It shows that she is not just looking at you, she is studying you. She is looking for the hero inside you. By validating your character, she is signaling that she sees the real you, the version of you that the rest of the world might miss. This is a form of psychological nesting. She is making you feel understood and appreciated in a way that no one else does, which makes you want to return to her again and again. It is a powerful cycle of attraction. Furthermore, notice if she remembers the small things. If you mentioned a week ago that you like a specific kind of coffee, or that you were nervous about a specific meeting and she brings it up later, that is a massive sign. She is dedicating mental real estate to you. We only remember the details of things we truly care about. Her memory is a reflection of her craving. She is keeping a mental file of your likes, dislikes, and dreams because she is subconsciously preparing for a future where she is a part of them. The sixth pillar is the pursuit of solitude. Attraction, in its most potent form, is an exclusive experience. Wards. It does not want an audience. If a woman is secretly craving you, she will begin to act as a social architect, subtly arranging the environment so that the two of you can be alone. This is often done with such grace that you might not even realize it is happening. She might suggest a quick walk to get fresh air, or she might pull you into a side conversation at a loud party. In the digital world, this manifests as moving from group chats to direct messages. She is trying to strip away the noise of other people so that the signal of your connection can be heard more clearly. This is about creating a sacred space when she gets you alone. Notice how her energy changes. She might become more vulnerable, sharing personal stories or fears that she wouldn't share in a group. This is her way of inviting you into her inner sanctum. She is craving the safety of your undivided attention. Pay attention to the lingering goodbye. When it is time to leave, does she find reasons to stay for just 5 more minutes? Does she walk with you to your car or wait with you for your ride? That resistance to ending the interaction is the ultimate sign of craving. The brain's reward system is firing so strongly in your presence that it is physically difficult for her to step away. She is trying to stretch the moment of connection as far as it can go. The 7th pillar is the energy leak. This is the biological overflow of attraction that simply cannot be contained by the conscious mind. It is a mix of nervous energy and heightened excitement. When a woman is around someone she craves, her fight or flight system is actually slightly activated, but in a positive, butterfly-inducing way. Fidget. Is she playing with her necklace, twirling her hair, adjusting her rings? These are self-soothing gestures. Her body is trying to process the static electricity of her attraction to you. Her heart rate is likely elevated, and her skin temperature might rise, leading to a subtle flush in her cheeks or chest. This is the glow of attraction. It is a raw, honest physiological response that is almost impossible to fake. Also, notice her animation. Does she become more expressive with her hands? Does her laugh become more frequent, perhaps even a bit louder than usual? This is her energy trying to reach out and touch you. She is literally vibrating with the excitement of being in your orbit. This energy shift is the most visceral of all the signs. It is something you don't just see, you feel it in the air between you. It is the chemistry that people talk about, but few can define. But here is the most important part of this entire psychological breakdown. None of these signals should be read in isolation. A single hair tuck or a single compliment could just be friendliness. Real, powerful attraction is found in the cluster. It is the accumulation of these signs over time. When her eyes linger, and her body leans in, and she finds reasons to touch your arm, and she remembers the small details of your life, that is when you know. That is when the silent code becomes a clear message. Understanding this language is a superpower, but like all superpowers, it comes with a deep responsibility. The purpose of learning these signs is not to game or manipulate women. It is to become a man of higher emotional intelligence. It is to recognize the vulnerability she is showing you and to meet it with strength, kindness, and integrity. When you see these signs, you are seeing a woman's heart peeking through the curtain. Treat it with the respect it deserves. The strongest men are those who do not need to hunt for attraction, but those who are sensitive enough to sense it when it is offered. They respond not with tricks, but with their own authentic presence. They match her openness with their own confidence. They create a space where that secret craving can safely transform into a beautiful, open connection. In the end, the unspoken language of attraction is about truth. It is about the fundamental human desire to be seen, to be understood, and to be wanted. Her eyes, her voice, her touch. They are all fragments of a story she is telling you, a story of longing, of hope, and of a deep, silent craving. The question is, are you listening? So the next time you are with her, step out of your own head. Stop worrying about what to say next. Instead, observe, feel the energy, watch the silent dance of her gestures. Because the greatest relationships do not begin with a perfect line or a grand gesture. They begin in the quiet spaces. They begin with the signals. They begin with a truth that words are too small to carry. Take this knowledge and use it to build something real. Use it to become the kind of man who recognizes the silent call of a woman's heart and has the character to answer it. Thank you for walking this path of understanding with me. The journey to deep connection is the most rewarding one you will ever take. Pay attention, be present, and honor the silent language of the soul.